grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your water. If you're me, I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Okay, just kidding. So not a poet, but welcome in, you guys. It's a Wednesday. Every day we come and we go live. We chat about insulin resistance, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. We have done this now for like it's been a year and 3/4. It's been a year and 3/4. So whatever that is in months, it's kind of like when you're talking about your babies and how old they are, however many months old they are. Anyway, a year and 3/4. That's how long we've been doing this. The 5-day challenge that we do, that's free. Inside the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Don't forget to give your email to get in. That's our 30th one coming up on Monday. 30th one, you guys. That's so exciting. And just in case you're not like tracking with the calendar, it is the end of October. So what does that mean? That means that the customer campaign, where when you purchase 150 3 months in a row and you get $75 off, if you're already in that streak, don't forget. I don't want you to forget. I'll try to send out a text to remind people. I don't want anybody to miss out on that. But if you've never started, and you've been like teetering, I've been helping people get started on the total body reset here, last 2 days, because they want to get in towards the end of the month now, because then you get to cash in that much more quickly. Does that make sense? Because then you get October and you're almost stealing the month of October by getting in at the last few days. And then you do November and then you do December, and you are literally cashing out on December, getting that extra $75 off. Just telling you so that you don't miss out. Don't miss out. Luana, did you get your $75 off, Luana? That's wonderful. That makes me so happy. That means that, you know what, not only have you been consistent, but that means you're getting actually rewarded for your consistency. And you guys, people listen and they're like, well, I want testimonies like that. I want testimonies like, losing 45 pounds in 5 months, 74 years old. I want consistent results like losing, let's see, Terry was 49 pounds, 8 months, 62. Patty, in 5 months, she's lost 10 inches off of her trunk, 14 pounds. Megda, in a year, lost 14 inches in her trunk, had a MRI that went from a bad fatty liver to a mild fatty liver. People want the results, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to blow smoke, as they say in the neighborhood. I'm not going to do that. Oopsie. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you, it's going to take you some consistency. You're turning back around your own ship. I was slow. I was a turtle. I'm not going to tell you I was really super fast. No, but I did lose 3 sizes in my 50s. After my cycle stopped, when people would say, well, that doesn't happen in menopause, baloney. It's not about your age, and it's not just about menopause. It's about, very specifically, hormone conversation, insulin and cortisol. They're like sisters. And cellular conversation. If your cells are not open to insulin and they are resistant to insulin is a fat storing hormone. All right, today we're going to talk about gallbladder. Good morning, Jan. Good to see you here. Good morning, Patty, sweet lady. Deborah says, good morning from Florida Panhandle. Oh, jelly. Don't be telling me that in January. You just keep that whole Florida Panhandle thing to yourself. When January hits. Although I will be in Orlando in March, so that will help me. I can visualize Orlando for March. I'll be there. Yes, let's go. Anyway, okay. So today I wanted to talk about the gallbladder. This is actually a very common conversation that I have in my DMs. And it's both sides. Whether you've had your gallbladder taken out or you just think you have gallbladder issues because you have digestive issues. So it's for both of you. It's not just for one, okay? Good morning, Chile, Iowa. Terry, good to see you. Nice to meet you. Hello, Sue. Very, very good. Good to see you. Chile, Iowa, yes. So I'm in Minneapolis, and so we're probably the same, right? And my son is in LA for a couple of weeks working. And so I'm like, oh, that's a nice way to go in the fall. you're in Southern California. Why not? Let's do that, right? So I'm with you, Terry. Iowa, Minnesota. Here we go. Winter's coming. And I heard that it's going to be snowier and colder than normal. So we're not going to speak that, but that's just where we're at. If it's going to happen, we're just going to like brace ourselves. I don't know. It's all going to be good. So let's just chat about this for a second. And the reason why is because I feel like we have been so sold on this thought process that everything is one dimensional. We talked about this yesterday. Everything's like one dimensional. Everything is like, there's kind of one answer. And that's just not how this goes. I mean, whoever would think that talking about hormones would be one dimensional? Nobody would say that. We would never say that as women. We'd be like, yeah, no, this is a multi-layered conversation. We already know that. Well, it's the same thing when you're working, inside of your body. And, I was raised to believe that type 2 was genetic no matter what. My dad died at 63, type 2. He did all of the things. He did lots and lots of meds. He did heart surgeries and emergency angiograms and pacemaker. And the last 2 years of his life were consumed with dialysis and throwing up. That was his life. And then he died at 63. I was 30 at the time. And even though I had already been gestational diabetic with one of my pregnancies and then hypoglycemic with another one, I went on and literally did nothing. So I am the poster child of sugar addict. I was a 2X in size by the time I hit 50. I was just a hot mess express because when insulin hormone is upside down, making you so that you can't burn any fat, it's tipping over like all your other hormones. I knew none of this. So I'm just your friend coming on and sharing exactly what I've learned because I've studied, because I really honestly was like, I don't want the life my dad had. He spent his entire decade of his 50s feeling like trash and just popping pills. That's what he did for a decade, probably more than that. But this is when I'm remembering the most, right? I'm in my 20s, he's in his 50s, right? And that's all he did. And shooting insulin in his belly. That's all I remember, right? And I'm like, I'm doing this differently, but I am literally the least, like Facebook, like an actual Facebook where you would have like the pictures in the actual, did you guys you have the books, you had to pay for the books in those actual books that you would have from your school. My picture would have been least likely to ever get her crap together for food and health. That was me, like big time, major sugar addict, really, really messed up. So I decided, no, I'm going to figure this out somehow, some way. An answer is going to come to me because I don't want to embrace obesity and type 2 diabetes from my Italian family. I knew I wanted something different. Just didn't have a clue. So when I started to do my own targeted supplementation, I wasn't a supplementer at all. I wasn't even taking like a vitamin C, you guys. I wasn't taking a vitamin D. I live in Minnesota. I should have been, but I wasn't doing anything. And it wasn't until I worked in a medical clinic and I had a doctor talk to me about, you could consider vitamin D, high doses, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But then when it came to dealing with my sugars, because I was scared enough from watching my dad's journey, I finally did decide. And at the very end of this, I will talk to you about the total body reset. This is where people are losing their weight. They're bringing down their sugars. They're losing all the inches off of their trunk because it's targeting visceral fat. It's where somebody had an MRI that went from a bad fatty liver to a mild fatty liver. And it's just 6 pieces in one little cart. Okay. And I'll explain that to you and show you how to how to ask me questions or how to look things up for yourself so that even if you don't want to talk to me, that's fine. You don't have to talk to me. But in the meantime, I want to talk to you about the gallbladder because this is why things are people get frustrated and then you quit because you're like, well, dang, this wasn't exactly what I was thinking in terms of turning my body around. And it's like, well, everybody has different factors. And so I try to hit on those factors for you so that you can see yourself in it and go, oh, that's one of mine. That's one of my factors. I need to probably deal with that. And so today we're going to do the gallbladder. So if you know somebody that has had their gallbladder removed or they just have digestive issues all the time, will you share this with them? And if you're on the replay, will you let me know that you're on the replay? I would love to hear from y'all. Good morning, Terry. Good to see you. Good to see you. Terry's on live. I love that. Okay, so you know, sometimes you feel like you're eating clean and you're doing things right. And I know that especially with people that have gallbladder issues, it's very unnerving because you feel like, geez, you know, yesterday I did this and it worked, and then today I did this and it didn't work. And you know, digestive and bathroom issues are just a very like a vulnerable conversation because nobody wants to feel like that all the time, right? Nobody wants to. So you might even be watching like your carbs or whatever, but you're still bloated, you're puffy, you're exhausted. Does this sound familiar? After you eat like a little bit and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not digesting my food normally. I'm like I'm 6 months pregnant. I'm just puffy all the time. And I just have no energy. It's the fatigue that, excuse me, feels so like, oh, wow, come on, wake up, right? Well, what if the problem, you know, it's not your willpower? What if it's your gallbladder? And this is all connected. And so we have to get out of the mentality. We have to take our minds and get out of the siloed medical system mentality where they silo us, right? You go to this doctor for this and this doctor for this and this doctor for this and this doctor for this. And then this one gives you this script and then this one gives you this script and then this one gives you this script. And you feel like nothing's ever connected and you feel like nobody is hearing you. It's frustrating. And I hear you guys all the time. You're in my inbox telling me about this all the time, right? So it's very frustrating. So again, what if it's not your willpower? What if it's your gallbladder? Cheyenne. So when we get really honest about this is not about vanity anymore. I mean, we had our day of, don't get me wrong, we want to look good. I'm super happy I've lost 3 sizes. I'm still on my journey. I love that, right? But it's really not about vanity anymore. It's about sometimes just not even recognizing the person that's in the mirror. You're like, oh, man, I used to be able to eat anything, or I used to be able to lose weight at the drop of a hat, or I used to not have issues with, you know, whatever foods, and my digestion was fine and blah, 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 right? You know, or you feel like you eat and then maybe you're unbuttoning your jeans at the table because you're just like, what is going on? And it doesn't seem to matter what you're eating. Well, when you have that happening and then you feel like you're crashing in the afternoon because of your energy tanking and whatever, I know that I'm like Peter Brady here all of a sudden. My voice just cracked. I have no idea why. I should probably have a sip of water. Hold on. I don't even think I'm dry, but obviously I am. That's so funny. You even probably, like, if you're following my content, what do we cut out? We cut out sugar, we cut out grains, we cut out legumes, but we're still a foodie, and we learn how to make amazing food according to what we like, right? But maybe your stomach is still feeling heavy and your mind is still feeling foggy. Well, let's just do a little bit more of a tweak. Nobody maybe is telling you that it could be your gallbladder or the lack of one. That's really behind this, because again, it's all connected. We don't need to be siloed. We need to understand the connection, and nobody usually shares this. So think of your gallbladder like your body's fat processing faucet. Okay, your fat processing faucet. It stores bile from your liver and then it releases it when you eat, and especially fats, it's releasing it. So if you've lost your gallbladder, just hold on a second, okay? And if you still have it, but you're having these issues, hold on. So bile is kind of like your natural detergent, okay? It breaks down grease so that your body can absorb the nutrients. This is why the nutrient deficiency issue, this is why this is such a simple conversation, but nobody really explains it. We just do meds instead. When it's sluggish or thick, you're missing altogether, your gallbladder, fat stays undigested. It stays undigested, and nutrients go unabsorbed, and your liver, how many knew I was going to talk about the liver today? Talk about the liver all the time. Your liver gets overworked. It gets totally overworked. And so what are the 3 things that I talk to you guys about, like literally every day? Your liver, your gut, and your insulin. That's why I always wrap up with total body reset, because it deals with your liver, your gut, and your insulin all in one fell swoop. Liver, gut, insulin. I understand that there are a lot of people that are supplementing. You're like, well, I'm taking my fish oil and I'm taking my vitamin D, I'm taking my vitamin C, and great. I'm not against any of that. I do it too. I'm talking about targeted supplementation for root cause. Let's talk root cause. This gallbladder conversation is a root cause, okay? So what happens when your gallbladder is super sluggish, your liver's working double time, or you've had your gallbladder removed and your liver's working double time? Your insulin stays higher longer. And what can't you do if you have high insulin? No fat burning for you if you have high insulin. Your fat gets stored instead of burned. And where does it get stored? In your belly. It's all belly fat. And you feel puffy, you feel tired, and hormonally, you feel really off balance. Like, wow, I don't feel like myself. Okay, that's what's going on. So you might notice things like this. This might be kind of your world. You can't tolerate rich foods anymore. Like they sit heavy in you. You crave carbs after meals because you didn't absorb your fats for fuel. You have got to hear that sentence again. Okay. You crave carbs after meals because you didn't absorb your fats for fuel. You crave, or you gain around your middle section, even though you're eating less maybe, but you're still, it's the belly fat that's still getting you. You feel moody or you feel flat because you're not absorbing fat soluble vitamins. Pay attention to this, like A, D, E, K, that support hormones and mood. Okay, not absorbing fat soluble vitamins. So now it's not just digestion, it's confidence, it's brain fog, right? It's that voice whispering, something's off, but nobody's listening to me, but something's off. Can you see how, like, if you can get to the root of this conversation, all of a sudden you will start breaking down those fat soluble vitamins. You will start absorbing nutrients into your body. You won't have all of the bloat and the puff and the inability to digest the fats. You'll be like, wow, I remember this girl, like this is where she went. If you can dig down and get into that root cause, that is where it is at. So when bile isn't flowing, your liver has to step in. So liver. It's so important. Like, I can't believe how much we talk about liver, but I'm telling you, like, this is the biggest, L is the biggest organ for you that you need to pay attention to. But the liver is also where insulin gets processed. So if your insulin is high, no fat burning for you. If your liver is sluggish, no fat burning for you. Your liver processes your insulin. Liver, insulin, liver, insulin. Do you understand, right? This is why this connection is so clear. And it doesn't have to be, this doesn't have to be noisy. This doesn't have to be hard. This doesn't have to be mountainous. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You do not need a team of docs to get you to understand this. This is basic biology. I didn't know it either. So don't be confused. I didn't know it either, right? But when you start to get it, you're like, oh, it can be this simple. So if the liver is busy cleaning up fat and toxins, insulin piles up in your bloodstream. No fat burning for you. That's when weight loss stalls out. Your sugar cravings go through the roof. Ugh, so frustrating. And your energy just, boom, crashes. Okay. It's like trying to clean your kitchen while the sink is backed up. No matter how hard you scrub it, it never looks clean because it's always backed up, right? But the good news is that you can totally support the gallbladder that you have and or the gallbladder that you lost. You can still support your system and change everything. And you can change with where your insulin is at too. You can bring down your insulin and level up your liver function and help your gut bring down all of that inflammation. You can do all of that. So these are a couple of like home remedy tips. And I've brought these to you guys before, but I think that they are worth mentioning again. Start your day with lemon water or apple cider vinegar before meals to wake up your bile flow. Get that going, right? Get your bile flow going. Add bitter foods like arugula, dandelion, radicchio, ginger before meals. So for instance, I love arugula in a salad. That would be a really good option. That would be a good choice. And you can add those bitter foods. You can use targeted supplementation. I'll talk about those in just a minute. You can be super specific. I am personally not going to wake up every day and go, I'm going to eat my bitter foods. I'm just not going to do that. So I'll take them in supplement form and get all of the help that I need that way. But when I finally learned all of this, it explained so much to me. It explained so much why I could eat clean and still feel inflamed, why my belly puffed out after like even avocado, whatever I was eating with avocado and eggs and whatever, like, why is this still not quite right? Why my energy didn't match the effort that I was putting in. That was a huge one for so long. Remember, it took me 3 to 4 years to trade out my foods, but I didn't understand. I just didn't understand. Okay. But once I supported my liver and my bile flow, you guys, right? My energy, my clarity, and my fat loss all started to kind of shift. That's how that goes. Okay. So if you've ever felt like you're like super stuck, this is what we are going to chat about. So Marilyn, yay. Okay, hold on. I got to go back because somebody's congratulating somebody. You guys are amazing with each other. I love this so much. Good morning, Magda. Good to see you. Marilyn says, good morning, Kirsten and friends. Marilyn, I love you. Just back from the doctor. It was our first visit. I'm down 8 pounds since September. Happy, joy, Marilyn. I am so excited for you. I am so excited. Marilyn, you don't have to, but will you tell me what your age is? And you don't have to, for real, you don't. Good morning, Lisa, Minnesota Lisa. Good to see you. Hey, if anybody's in Minnesota, I have an in-person event coming up on Sunday the 16th in Maple Grove. Please put that on your calendar. I would love to see you, meet you, and hug you. Okay, so 8 pounds since September. Good job, Marilyn. I'd love to know what age you are if you're willing. And if you're not, that's okay. But then tell me, when's the last time you had success with weight loss? I'd love to know that. Alonia says, I got a new PCP who agrees that treating the root cause is the way to go. Alonia, that's fantastic. You're going to do fasting insulin for the first time soon. Perfect. Terry says, Marilyn, yay, congratulations. Julia says, I had my gallbladder removed at age 18. Oh, shoot. Well, good news is you can do something about it. You are not stuck with the results of that at all. Sue says she adds ginger to her coffee every morning. That's amazing. Am I singing your song today, Peggy? Woohoo! I'm so glad. 73 years young. Marilyn, oh, you guys, can you just understand? Just stop for a second. Just pause for just a second, and then you can go on with your day, whatever. We are so indoctrinated to believe that, listen, you're just getting older. This is just the way it goes. Like, your metabolism is just it's natural. Everything's just going to slow down. Your life is going to suck. I mean, honestly, it's ridiculous. And pretty soon you have us like, we're only like taking scripts and eating, like a bird. And we're not nourishing our bodies, and we're not getting, we're told to eat like fat free and all this mess that just ruins our, mental capacity, whatever. What if instead you just got your system, your engine back running again? What if you did that? I'm just saying, it can completely change everything that's happening in your body. You are positioning your body, what Marilyn did. And I don't remember now. Do you know how many weeks you've been on the Total Body Reset, Marilyn? If you know. Marilyn says, thank you, Terry. Sharon from Canada. Good morning. Happy Hump Day Wednesday. Absolutely. But what you can do is you can get your body to make your body, if that's how you want to say it, you're being kind to it though, but you can make your body produce a different result. So if your body is producing bloating, and if it's producing exhaustion, and if it's producing brain fog, oh my gosh, and if it's producing, like diarrhea or constipation or whatever, you can get your body to produce something differently. So anyway, let me wrap up then with the total body reset, because this is literally how you guys are all getting your results. And listen, you are sending me your results. Just like Marilyn said, I went to the doctor. I've lost 8 pounds in September. Like, hallelujah, she's 73. Stop thinking that you're too old to change the way your body is functioning and looking. I defied everything. After your cycle stops, you're supposed to just be a freight train of weight gain. That's funny, but it's true. You're supposed to be a freight train of weight gain. And you know what? That doesn't have to be true. And it doesn't have to be because your age. Well, you're in your 70s. Good luck losing weight now. Listen, Claudette lost 45 pounds in 5 months. Marilyn has now lost her first 8. Mid-September she started. So she's 6 weeks in. That's amazing, Marilyn. Good for you. And don't be so hard on yourself for your journey. Just remember, Lucille, you have gallstones. Okay. I'll share the total body reset. You can decide for yourself if it's a match for you. Okay. Just because it's very, very helpful. And hold on, I'm just writing that down. So you do not have to believe in what society is telling you about stuff. So let's just talk about how, like, I started to deal with things and then how I just share it with you guys. So when I started a little over 10 years ago, like I said, I was a total sugar addict and I never took a supplement in my life. I took Metabolife, which was banned. That was just basically speed through Walmart. It was ephedra. They banned it. And that's why you have to get your Sudafed, ephedra, behind the thing, because they were doing bad things with ephedra. And and I took ibuprofen. I mean, that's literally the level of me being a granola person. I wasn't eating anything granola. I wasn't, and I say granola, understanding that I don't eat granola. I'm just saying, like, that clean eater or whatever we want to say, eating all the whole foods and whatnot. That was not me at all. I was the opposite of that. And so when I started, I just started with 3 very simple sups. Okay. I'm not even gonna say the whole word because I get flagged. So 3 simple sups. Okay. And I just call them the trio, 2 tablets and 1 capsule. And I started there. And that's literally what supported me in losing my 3 sizes in my 50s as I was trading out my ingredients. And I decided that I still wanted to be a foodie because I'm Italian, but I knew that I had to trade out my food. So I traded out grain, I traded out sugar, and I traded out legumes, because when you're insulin resistant, if you can stop spiking your sugars and calling on insulin all day long, this is where there's a really, this is a good path to begin to turn it around. Okay. Then what happened was they launched a gut primer. Now this is liver. One of these is already for liver. Second one for liver, the gut primer. This is the greens product that everybody's doing. New journey, and you were worried about being too old. You're 73 also. Darlene, I'm telling you, I love this. I'm gathering all of my 70-year-olds. This is so fun. Jody, good to see you. You're fine. You are fine. Yeah. So Lucille, number 1, get your insulin down. Number 2, help your liver. Okay. And then this is also help your liver. So this is the gut primer, but this is not just like a greens product, even though I understand it looks like a green powder, because it is, but it has 6 different blends in it. And the reason why this is so important, because, okay, so greens, we understand, like we do that, we throw them into smoothies and we do things like that. And that's always important. I get it. But when you start doing pre and postbiotics and digestive enzymes, and the greens are not just greens, but they're fermented. Now what's happening is, go back to that conversation that we just had, where if you'll get your bitters every day, if you'll do things like that, like this is the liver. Somebody had asked me recently, what should I take if I'm trying to help my liver? And I'm like, well, you could take this one, the primer, and the orange pixie stick. But I'm telling you, this is such a huge help for your digestion, your liver. I have people with short gut syndrome, major constipation. So the short gut would be like a lot of diarrhea. But you can imagine how if you have a sluggish gallbladder, a sluggish liver, or you've had your gallbladder removed, or like Lucille is saying she has gallstones. I will tell you, Lucille, so I'll make sure I said it right. Yep. My daughter had gallstones, and I'll tell you what she did to get rid of hers. She was 8 months pregnant at the time. So the trio, these are the first three because there's 6. 3, okay, 4, okay, 5 is the probiotic, 5 live strains, put it on your tongue every day. And the 6th piece is the orange pixie stick. All right. And this is what targets the visceral fat. I pulled this out of the sports nutrition line. It's literally changing your BMI. It's literally changing your body composition. So for people who are like, oh yeah, I heard about Magda and how over the course of a year of doing this, she lost 14 inches right in here, under her bra, her waist, and her hips, right in here, 14 inches. I'm sorry, what? And she's like, I'm trying to remember, I think she just turned 70. So it is not true that you are too old. It is not true that this is just how it goes. No, visceral fat is laid down in your organs, like your liver, your intestines, your pain, because of your pancreas releasing so much insulin, and insulin is a fat storing hormone, it's storing it in your trunk. And this is why then you're getting fat out here, but it's actually what's underneath. So that's targeting that. That's the 6th piece of the total body reset. Now, if somebody wants to get free shipping, make sure you register as a customer. If somebody wants to get the campaign, we're at the end of the month, you can steal the month of October. When you purchase $150 or more 3 months in a row, you can get $75 off of your 3rd month. Okay. So when that happens, that you can like steal that little October by getting started in October, and then November, December, and then in December, you're cashing out on $75. Marilyn says, hi, Darlene. Okay. So hold on. I missed something. Sharon, having trouble starting, no gallbladder and diabetes. Sharon, this is exactly what I talk about all the time. Yep. Where can you get those in the UK? Lucille, I don't know. I'm not sure. You might want to just think about, you'd have to look at the stores that you have in the UK and look for things that would support liver health for you. Like anything that's like, milk thistle, dandelion, see if you can find fermented greens, etc. Those would be very, very helpful. Magda, she'll be 70 in November. Thank you, Magda. That's right. I do know that. I do know that. You just told me that. I do know that. And Marilyn says, Darlene, be kind to yourself. It's a process of learning how to trade out foods. It takes time. I'm doing it slowly, but little by little, it's paying off. I have a feeling I missed a comment because I don't know. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Okay. Marilyn, you're so nice. Look at you encouraging Darlene. You're so nice. It takes time. I'm doing it slowly, but little by little, it's paying off. Yeah. And, so this is where I teach both sides of the coin, right? So one side is the targeted supplementation. We talk about that all the time. The other side is the food piece. And that's why we do the free challenge, the free 5-day challenge every month in the group. And I just, in my head, thought that that was going to be the hardest thing that I ever did. Because I almost didn't do it at all. Like, I honestly said inside of me, I'm not going to do that. Like, that's not what I'm going to do, because I'm Italian and I had all of these connections. And in the end, to be really honest, it wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part of the whole journey was identifying the connections with food. Trading out the food ingredients is actually something fairly simple. But the reason why I say that is because there's a trade out of real good, yummy ingredients for everything that you could ever want. Maria Emmerich is a genius with coming up with ingredient trade outs for food. All Day I Dream About Food. That's another blog. Really good at doing that. And I'll just tell you, like, people are incredibly creative. And so I don't miss out on anything when it comes to food. It's just learning a little bit at a time. It's really giving yourself permission for the actual journey, realizing that you're not going to learn everything this weekend and have it all figured out by Monday. That's not realistic. You know, you need to go on a journey. That's why every single day I want to tell you about the campaign, because I don't know of anybody else that's rewarding you for consistency, you know, over a long period of time. And you need to have a journey. It's a journey. How does one get enough fiber by giving up grains and legumes? That's a good question, Kim. First, I would say that Maria Emmerich has a great article out there on mariamindbodyhealth.com, and it's called The Fiber Myth. It's called The Fiber Myth. Think about it for just a second. Like, even a baby, they don't take in fiber in order to poop all day long. Breast milk doesn't have any fiber in it. But because of the American diet that we have been eating and all of the trash and the chemicals and whatever, that's where then we've had to come up with the fiber to push things along. When you stop treating your body that way, you come into a much more natural balance. But I will say that anybody who is doing the gut primer, because of the fermented greens in there, and because of there is a fiber blend, but it's not a trash fiber blend, that usually takes care of it for people. Now, if somebody's having a lot of constipation, you might have to ask yourself, like, if you're eating way too much dairy, like if you're binging on, you know, mozzarella and whatever, and or you have to ask yourself, am I getting my electrolytes? Electrolytes will fix that actually better than making sure you're taking Metamucil, which is a bad idea, in my opinion. So there are other core things. Are you drinking enough water every day? Are you making sure that you're getting water? I put electrolytes in mine. I put aminos, whatever, so that my water is working for me. Coffee creamers, you love them all the different flavors, and you know you probably shouldn't be using them. You're right. What is the trade-out? Well, this is so funny because, Vicki, I was so addicted to like International Delight and, you know, Coffee Mate. And I've told this before, but I had a girlfriend that when she met me, we hung out like every day. We were homeschooling our kids and we just were so excited to be friends. And within 3 months, she gained 10 pounds, just knowing me. Because I drink every morning. I would wake up, this is in my 30s, and I would make a pot of coffee, and I would always buy, I tracked the grocery stores. Oh, it's the season, so they've got peppermint, or they've got eggnog, or they've got pumpkin something or whatever, you know, and in the spring they would have, you know, whatever, Easter egg, I don't even know, like, you know, candy creamer. They just always had something fun. So what I learned to do then was I learned how to I would purchase straight whipping cream, okay, straight cream. And then now what you can do is you can buy, I don't have it by me, but little liquid stevias. You can actually get them off of Amazon. I should put them on my Amazon list. I don't think I have them on my Amazon list. Let me see here. I don't think I do. But there are I'll have to put those on there. Nope, I don't. They are little liquid stevias that are flavored. So vanilla, caramel, whatever, and you can use that to sweeten the cream. And that's very helpful, just to let you know. Very helpful. Basil seeds, very cool. So because, Julia, with legumes, so this is the deal. A cup of beans, okay, a cup of like pinto beans or kidney beans or black beans, they're like 40 to 45 grams of carbs per cup. So understanding just the base of insulin resistance, okay? And it doesn't mean that you can't, remember, you enter insulin resistance land and you know that you're there when the belly fat is increasing all the time, you're exhausted, your sugar cravings are out of control, you have brain fog. These are the types of things, or you get a fasting insulin test and they actually tell you how high your insulin levels are. Insulin will rise years and years, decades before your sugars ever rise in your blood. And what happens is you eat and it gives you energy. The food gives you energy in the form of sugar, in the form of glucose. Not because you ate a Snicker bar, but it's because it's giving you energy, and that energy is glucose. And your body wants that energy. That makes sense. So your insulin releases, or your pancreas releases insulin to go gobble up the energy like a Pac-Man, blah, 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 grab the energy and bring it into your cell. But when your cell is resistant to insulin because it closed the door, threw away the lock, it's resistant. Now, all of that extra insulin, hello, thank you so much for the hearts. I appreciate you. The insulin cannot get into the cell with the glucose, but it's now a fat storing hormone. So when you have a fat storing hormone, it's now going to do something with all of that extra energy. So number one, if you eat all day long, you're raising your insulin. Snack, 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 eat every 2 hours. It's good for your metabolism. Not if you're insulin resistant, but we've been told just eat all the time. Well, then your body is releasing insulin all the time, creating, if it's not getting used inside the cell, it creates high inflammation and it stores a bunch of fat. So you're in this cycle of high inflammation and storing fat. And you're like, why do I keep getting fatter? Why is my inflammation so high? So the whole goal then is to bring down the insulin, bring down the amount of insulin that your pancreas is releasing. Okay. So like following, let's say Maria Emmerich's thought process, high protein, that does not spike your sugars, not getting your protein from grains or legumes, but getting your protein from like meat and eggs, very sugar stabilizing. You will release smaller amounts of insulin to take care of that. Okay, as opposed to you eat something with 45 carbs per cup, bam! Now your pancreas is like, insulin, I got to give out more insulin to grab that and try to get it into the cell. The door is locked. The key was thrown away. Insulin is supposed to be the key. It can't get in it. Now it's storing it as fat. Now the cycle continues. So if you take away the things that are causing that, you will be able to then see the turning back around of your insulin resistance. Okay, so that's why most people are definitely ingrained to believe, because of the food pyramid that we were given by the government, we were taught that you should get all of your protein from grains and legumes. Well, that's fine if you're not insulin resistant. But when you are, you've entered a different land. And so we're going to just take that land differently, and we're going to try to back out. We're going to try to back out of that land. That's why. That's why. Unsweetened coconut or almond milk. You can do either. I do both. You know, I don't do unsweetened almond milk because it's full of nutrition. Because that's not true. I use coconut milk out of a can for that sugar-free pudding, and that's amazing. Creamy and good fat. Almond milk is almost like this is just me in my own brain. It's almost like a throwaway ingredient. It really doesn't do anything for you. But I do keep it on hand, and I do mix up my shakes with it, and I do use it to thin out certain things, like, you know, I do. And so, but either one, in my head, in my brain, I'm thinking that coconut milk, unsweetened coconut milk, would have more nutrition, because coconut milk is actually good for you. You know, there's no such, coconut milk actually exists. You open up a coconut, there's milk in it. Almond milk doesn't exist. We just make stuff up. Does that make sense? I mean, I'm just like talking off my own head, but you're putting silk in your coffee. Almond, 40 calories, unsweetened. Yep, there you go. Sweet leaf, there you go, Luana. That's it. Sweet leaf, sweet drops. Stevia clear. I don't know about stevia clear. Just purchased and you haven't tried it yet. The sweet leaf, sweet drops. That's the caramel and the vanilla. I like those. I like those. Lee, I made it. She says, love listening to you. Make it all make sense. I'm so glad, Lee. Lee, I appreciate you very, very much. Very much. I'm so glad you're here. Marilyn, I wish I had this information. I know, Marilyn. She says, I wish I had this information 20 years ago. I'm so grateful to get it now. If only your medical professionals would see it. I know, our medical professionals. Yes, I wish I did too. I was very confused. This was my moment. Maybe everybody has a moment. My moment, I can tell you exactly the clothes that I was wearing. I was in my upper 30s and I was, very overweight, raising my babies. And I remember standing out in my yard and the thought came to my brain. So what if I just embrace this whole Italian, like fat person identity? Because that's what was modeled to me through the Italian community. And I just remember a resounding no, I'm not going to do that. But then I had no idea how to fix it. So I too wish that 20 years ago I was given this information. I do too. But there were people out there. Suzanne Summers was one of them. And so I bought one of her books and I put it on my bookshelf and I never read it. But I did have the intention. And so when I was in my 40s and everything started to turn upside down, I'm 45, my brain fog is out of control. My ability to multitask was out the window and all of these things. And my weight just was now increasing on new levels. Oh, and it was the whole scenario of perimenopause, not understanding that it was being so exacerbated by insulin, by that hormone turning upside down everything else at maybe, I don't know if you would say it's a faster rate or like just harsher or whatever. It really amplified everything. My insulin resistance, I had no idea I had it, didn't know nothing. I never even heard of insulin resistance. I didn't know any of this. But all I knew was that I felt so like vulnerable, like all of a sudden that underlying anxiety shows up. And you're like, whoa, excuse me, where did that come from? And then I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, my mom kind of can be, nervous sometimes. Am I just maybe like my mom? I mean, you start thinking genetic, like, well, maybe this runs in my family, maybe, whatever, or that postpartum, I had postpartum depression so bad after my first baby. It was really, really intense. And all of a sudden, some of those feelings started to come back again. I'm like, what is going on right now? Like, I don't like this sadness, but I didn't know where to put it all. And had I had this information, remember you guys, here we are in 2025, almost 2026. So back in 2016, this didn't exist. I'm trying to think of, I wish I could ask maybe. Let's see here. Let's ask the question. When did live video come into play, like Periscope and then Facebook Live? Let's see what the answer is for you guys. Because this is important for you to understand. This is why the information wasn't as readily available to you. And now it's like a gift that it's all available to you. Periscope launched, get this, March 26th of 2015. So 10 years ago, Periscope launched. And if you don't know what Periscope is, that was the live video stream that Twitter owned. Okay. It quickly amassed millions of broadcasts. And by March 2016, 1 year later, it had reportedly facilitated 200 million broadcasts since its launch. The app was discontinued in 2021. Okay. And that's because Facebook came along and it went bam, 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 bam. And it just plowed it into the ground because Facebook is a behemoth. So Facebook made its live streaming feature available in August of 2015, but only to verified public figures, certain users initially. It rolled out broadly to regular users in the US in 2016 and then globally again 2016. Everything was 2016. So we're only 10 years old here, you guys. So you could say that for most users, early 2016. So this is how young this is for us, that we would have this kind of information. But here, after 1 decade, here we are thinking this is the norm. It's always been this way. Don't we feel like that? Like it's just always been this way. But that's not true. It's only in the last decade that you've had access to this kind of information. All right. And aren't we grateful? Because now look at you. Look at what you've done for yourself. You've become your own advocates. You've taken back your health. You are now, and I know that it's probably, you know, frustrating for the medical community sometimes because maybe we're asking more questions. Maybe we're saying no to more things. Maybe we are, and sometimes maybe we're even researching the wrong things, right? Like that can be true. There's a lot of information out there that we have to double, triple check. We have to know who we're listening to. I very specifically listen to people like Dr. Ken Berry and Dr. Eric Berg and Dr. Philip Ovadia, who's a heart surgeon, done over 3,000 heart surgeries, that will tell you that cholesterol is not the reason for heart disease. So there are people out there with credibility that can help us navigate. But this live video option, now that we have it, look at what you guys are doing in your 70s. Are you freaking kidding me right now? Dang. You have a lot of life to live. You have a lot of life to live, and it is a privilege to age. It is a privilege. Even though our society has it all backwards and they're all kind of stupid about stuff like that, it is a privilege to age because guess what? Not everybody gets to do it. So if now you get to do it with a little more function, a little more energy, you're not so vulnerable about your bathroom habits when you're out and about. You can actually, like, I sounded Canadian there just for a second, out and about. I am Minnesota, so I'm close to Canada. But, you can still get down on the floor. You can enjoy your grandbabies. You can go to all the events. You can travel and not have swollen ankles. You can maybe get off of some scripts. I don't do that with you, but you guys do it with your docs and you guys have amazing results. And think of all the scripts that you guys have gotten off of IBS and fibro and high BP and STATINs and anti-sadness and anti-anxiousness and acid reflux. And I mean, oh my gosh, the list is long that you guys have gotten off of. That's one less thing that you have to manage. That's one less thing that you have to have side effects about. That's one less thing that you have to go pick up at your drugstore. It's just one less thing. They want you to think you're just this is for the rest of your life. I call BS on it. I call BS. I'm the only person in my family that avoided type 2 diabetes, immediate family. I'm the only one. And it shouldn't have been me because I was gestational diabetic with my first baby. I was hypoglycemic with my second baby. I was the poster child of insulin resistant Italian large lady, 2X, freight train towards type 2. But no, our bodies were created to heal. Our bodies were created to turn around. Our bodies were created to have cellular regeneration. We just have to know how to do it. So I get fired up. Different flavors, Luana. Yes, the sweet tea, the sweet leaf stevia drops, liquid, vanilla, caramel, coconut, chocolate. Magda says, don't feel bad. I bought Suzanne Summers' book too and didn't read it. I'm passing it down to my daughter. Way to go, Magda. Eventually my sister and I dove in, but we didn't. It took us a while to do that. Yep, the medical community needs to catch up. I know, and it's challenging, but you know what? This is what they're taught. So you just have to understand that their educational paradigm is different. They get like 1 hour of nutrition. It's really bad, you guys. It's really bad. So the responsibility is on us now. Okay, and it's okay. We're not doing too bad, are we? If you guys are getting off all those meds, if you guys are like, your MRI from your fatty liver got better, if your labs are like, somebody that had not diabetic put in her chart, we're not doing so bad, are we? Because this is not a terminal diagnosis, so we get to do this. We get to test all of this for ourselves without, risk, in my opinion, because we're just like, well, we're just going to stop spiking our sugars and calling on insulin all day long. And we're just going to start eating real food, and we're going to get off of all of that packaged processed food. And pretty sure that's not harmful. You know, we're going to start doing like no bags, no boxes, no barcodes. We're going to start like actually taking back our life and our health. And we're going to stop thinking that they have any answers when it comes to, well, you just need one more script, or you just need to up the dose of the one you have. We're just going to stop believing, and we're just going to start asking a little more questions about ourselves and our own habits or lack thereof. We're going to hold ourselves a little bit more accountable. We're going to learn how to be disciplined, have a little bit of a routine, have a little bit of like self-assessment, which I feel like is one of the best gifts that you can give yourself. Like, why did that, where's that memory? What's that memory that has me so emotionally connected to that food? What's that memory why did I feel anxious about that right there? Okay, that's interesting. I eat when I'm stressed, or I eat when I'm anxious, or I eat when I'm, being Italian, we eat when we're happy, we eat when we're sad, it's everything. But, stopping and asking yourself and going, I'm going to actually answer these questions, and I'm not going to have any shame on it. I'm just not going to even allow shame to be a part of the conversation. I'm just going to assess myself. I'm just going to see what I think. It's all good, because I'm on a journey. Hey, listen, the time's going to pass anyway. Might as well end up after the year and have lost, inches and weight and bad labs and scripts. And there's all sorts of things you can lose that are good. We don't like to lose our car keys, but we do like to lose like, diagnoses. We like that. Yes, Lee says, since I don't do bags, boxes, or barcodes, I feel so much better. It takes down that inflammation. It does. Truvia makes a stevia liquid with flavors too. I have vanilla and a caramel flavor. I work with a diabetic specialist, but get more education. Very good. Awesome, Marilyn. Way to go. Diana says, thank you for your enthusiasm. Well, some people would just call it opinionated. Some people would just call it maybe pushy. I don't know. But thank you, Diana. I appreciate that very, very much. You're so sweet. All right. So we're going to wrap up today. We'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Don't forget, this is the end of the month. It's literally the end of October, you guys. Like, you're going to blink and it's gone in a couple of days. So if you're looking to start the total body reset, which are the 6 where everybody's getting all their results, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Reach out to me. I even put it in my stories today. Like, just put TBR in the comments. Like, you can do it on Facebook. It'll stay there. It'll go away on Instagram and TikTok. So you have to find me. But those types of things, you can get into my messenger. You can get into my, my Instagram DMs. I have to be careful about saying that. And if you don't want to talk to me, you don't have to talk to me. You can literally just go to my site, which is my name, KirstenLiebelt.com, KIRSTEN, KIR, not Kirsten, KIRSTEN, and then no space, Liebelt, LIE. It looks like Liebelt, like you lie down. KirstenLiebelt.com. You'll see my face like this. I'll get you those, Lori and Diana. Get my face. And then right here, 4 buttons right there. Right there is the total body, right at the bottom, right there. Okay. And that'll take you to a page that'll give you some information and some testimonies. It's not coming up there. It'll take you to a page with some testimonies, information, and like the cart, a video. Are you a video person? I put a video together for you that explains the 6. You might be that kind of person. You need that information. Okay. You can do that. Testimonies are right down there in that little carousel. So that's what that is. Back to this is what it looks like, KirstenLiebelt.com. And just don't forget, register with your name. When you are on the cart and you see all 6 products in one place, they're in the cart. The box is checked next to all 6. Go to the top of the page. There's a little person icon. It's like a little head and shoulders. Click on that, tap on that, and then register with your name for your customer account. Because if you sign out as a guest, and you can do that, there's nothing wrong with it, but you won't get free shipping on the TBR, and you won't get to be a part of the customer campaign. that says 150 or more 3 months in a row, and you get $75 off on the third month. You just won't get to do that because you checked out as a guest. This is for registered customers only. And so if you want to steal the month of October, you can sign up today, get started. Then you can do it in November, and you're already cashing out that $75 in December. Like within 60 days, you're cashing that out. What a good season to like gift yourself and then cash out at the same time, get rewarded for it. So anyway, all right, Lori and Diana, I will get those to you. Marilyn says, congratulations, Magda, good for you, because Magda said what? I used to be, oh God, Magda, I'm so excited about your journey. Okay, we will end with Magda's testimony because this just really just gets me so excited. I used to be on 12 meds. I'm down to only 2. I made my doctors aware. You should have seen their facial expression when I refused to start the meds. Yep, I know. Good for you. Good for you. And what you need to know about her is that she is the one with, she tests her sugars. She gets her labs done regularly. And she had the fatty liver that went from bad to mild on an MRI. So she's not just willy-nilly stopping things. She's working with the medical system, and she's taking care of herself. She's advocating for herself. That's what she's doing. That's really cool, Magda. It's really cool. It makes me just really proud of you and others that are like, I refuse to just accept only the crumbs that they give me of what my life can look like. They tell me my life can look like this, so small. You'll be on these meds forever. You'll never lose any weight. You're too old. Your metabolism is just slow. And this little tiny life, oh, well, so sorry. That's just baloney. And instead, for every one of you that is like, no, I am taking back my health and my life. Man, so excited. So excited. Terry, the TBR is the total body reset. That's these 6. It's just short for total body reset. The trio, the probiotic, the fat burner, the gut primer. That's what the TBR is. And that's what Magda has been on over a year now. She's been on it for a year and has had such great results. And yeah, you used to be on 12 meds. That's pretty exciting. Let's go, man. All those side effects that you don't have to live with now. Woohoo. All right. So I'll be back at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Reach out to me if you need anything. Monday, the 3rd, we do the 30th 5-day challenge in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. You have to give your email to get in there, but then it's a free challenge. You don't even have to sign up for it. I'll just go live every day at 3 p.m. Okay. So that's what we can do. And Jan says you are an inspiration, Magda. I agree. You are such an inspiration. So get in there, and then you can start to have month after month after month support, encouragement, an actual blueprint for your own transformation, because this isn't going to happen overnight. And I'm not going to blow smoke and tell you that you turn back your body just like that. That's baloney. That's not how that works. You have to actually give yourself permission for a journey. But then, wow, 5 years from now, your person 5 years into the future is looking back at you right now going, thank you so much that you did that for me. Because now my life is more fulfilling. My life is more technicolor. My life has less aches and pains, less interruptions and side effects. Okay. All right. See you tomorrow. Have the best day ever on the face of the planet. And enjoy your Wednesday.